The moment he steps on stage, something shifts in the air, subtle but unmistakable. The auditorium, buzzing just seconds ago, falls into a hush so sudden it feels almost unreal. A single spotlight drops over him, outlining his silhouette like it was carved specifically for this moment. He walks forward slowly, each step echoing with a confidence wrapped in humility, like he knows he doesn't have to pretend to be anyone. Yet the aura he carries whispers Elvis in every breath. The midnight blue suit catches the light with a soft shimmer. It isn't flashy, it's intentional. His hair, styled with a clean, modern edge, hints at the king without trying to imitate him. The crowd begins to murmur. A woman in the front row grabs her friend's arm. A teenager filming on his phone whispers, "Bro, he looks like Filipino Elvis." The energy spreads like a current. Phones are already lifting. People lean forward. Something rare is happening, and everyone feels it before a single note is sung. Simon narrows his eyes. It's his instinct. He can smell greatness before anyone else. Heidi tilts her head, curious. Sophia sits up straighter, already smiling because she can sense magic. Even Howie's eyebrows rise in anticipation. The judges don't know what they're about to witness, but they feel that it's big. The young performer finally stops at the center of the stage, breathing slow and steady. He takes in the crowd, not with fear, but with quiet gratitude. There's a warmth in his eyes, a kind of gentle sincerity that contrasts with the electrifying presence he carries. He grips the microphone and, for a moment, everything around him fades. The lights soften. The world shrinks to this one moment. He opens his mouth, not to sing but to speak, soft, controlled, heartfelt. "Tonight, I want to honor a legend, but I'm not here to copy him. I'm here to show you who I am." The words fall into the room like a promise, a declaration wrapped in humility. The audience sits frozen, drawn in by the calm confidence and sincerity behind them. The music begins with a single guitar strum, clean, warm, familiar. He closes his eyes. The shift is instant. Every person in the room feels the breath he takes, like the air itself is waiting for him. When he finally sings his first note, it slices through the silence with shocking precision. Not just accurate, not just powerful. It's soulful, velvety, impossibly rich, like the spirit of Elvis reborn through a completely new voice. Gasps echo. People stand almost involuntarily. A group in the balcony shoot up to their feet. Simon's eyes widen a fraction, and a rare smile tugs at the corner of his lips. Heidi clasps her hands near her face. Sophia's mouth falls open in pure disbelief. The reaction is instant. The room is electrified. But it's not just the resemblance in tone. It's the emotion behind it. There's a Filipino depth in his delivery, an emotional honesty that feels raw and untouched. He moves with small, intentional gestures. No overacting, no forced impersonation. Just pure, natural charisma that nods to Elvis while remaining entirely original. The camera zooms into audience members covering their mouths, shaking their heads in disbelief. Someone whispers, "This is unreal." Another says, "This feels like history." Every note builds the tension. Every breath pulls the room deeper into the performance. Even the stage lights seem to move with him, framing his silhouette like a moment that was meant to exist. By the time he reaches the end of the opening phrase, the entire auditorium knows, this isn't a tribute act. This isn't an impersonator. This is the birth of something legendary. Midway through the performance, something changes. Not gradually, but suddenly, like a switch being flipped inside him. The Filipino Elvis straightens his posture, tightens his grip on the mic, and without warning, unleashes a soaring note that shakes the entire auditorium. It's raw, powerful, and completely unexpected. The kind of note that doesn't just sound impressive, it feels like a declaration. The crowd reacts instantly. People jump to their feet, some shouting, some laughing in disbelief, and others simply standing with their hands over their hearts as if they've witnessed something supernatural. The lights flare brighter, chasing him across the stage as he begins to move with a rhythm that's unmistakably his own. Not Elvis's steps, not a tribute dancer's moves. Something modern, sharp, full of energy and emotion. Every gesture, every pivot, every lift of his hand has purpose. He has stopped performing a song and started commanding the entire room. He's no longer honoring a legend. He's stepping into his own spotlight. Phones go up like a wave. Thousands of small screens capture him from every angle. The internet isn't waiting for the show to end. It's already exploding. TikTok live streams shoot upward in viewers. YouTube shorts fill with comments faster than they can upload bot. Ho ice this? His is the best audition I've seen in years, bar. Elvis walked so he could run, brar. Filipino Elvis but better? Ro, this voice just broke my headphones. IPs circulate in real time, people stitching reactions, shouting into their phones, replaying the same 5 seconds again and again because they can't believe it's real. Even backstage contestants peek out from behind the curtains, wide-eyed, knowing they're watching history instead of waiting for their turn, brr. Stage, the singer leans into the crescendo. His voice shifts again, deeper, richer, then suddenly climbing into a smooth, clean high note that feels like it came from another universe. It's not Elvis. It's not any singer the crowd can name. It's a sound nobody has heard before. A voice shaped by soul, courage, and something uniquely Filipino. Emotional storytelling packed into every breath. E-judges can't hide their reactions anymore. Heidi clutches her chest in astonishment, her eyes glossy with emotion. Sophia whispers, "Oh my God," like she's witnessing something impossible. Howie leans forward, shaking his head, stunned, and Simon actually laughs. Not mockingly, not sarcastically, a genuine shocked laugh. A reaction he only has when something exceeds even his impossible standards. Burr, and it comes. T-E moment burr. Bar. T that detonates the room. He drops to one knee, tilts his head back, lets out a gravelly Elvis-style growl, and then launches into a dazzling vocal run that skyrockets upward in perfect control. The theater explodes. People scream so loud the audio techs flinch. Some fans jump as if they're at a concert. A man in the second row falls back into his seat with both hands pressed to his face. A woman records while shaking uncontrollably. Judges rise to their feet in a standing ovation before the song is even finished. The energy becomes unreal, almost overwhelming. The air feels heavier, hotter, electric. It's the kind of moment people will replay forever, the kind of performance that becomes a reference point. Remember the night Filipino Elvis broke the internet? As he approaches the final note, he steadies himself, takes a breath, and with flawless precision, delivers a closing line so rich and so emotionally loaded that the entire room freezes for half a second. Then, an eruption. Chairs scrape the floor, people scream, the theater shakes, and the online world detonates with comments, reposts, edits, reactions. Viewers across the globe begin typing the same thing. America is still talking about this guy. He just broke the internet. This is the moment a legend was born. And on stage, he stands breathless, overwhelmed and shining. A young Filipino artist who came to honor Elvis and ended up making the world talk about him. The applause doesn't stop. It doesn't even slow down. It rolls across the auditorium like a tidal wave, crashing over the stage again and again. Golden lights swirl around him as he tries to steady his breath, but the moment is too big, too overwhelming, too unreal. He bows once, twice, then again because the cheers refuse to end. Cameras zoom in on his face, his eyes shining, his chest rising and falling, his hands shaking just a little. He looks like someone standing inside the dream he spent his whole life chasing. Sophia finally lifts her hands, signaling the audience to calm down, though she's laughing because the energy is too wild to control. When the cheers finally soften, she leans forward with a look of pure awe. "That," she says breathlessly, "wasn't an audition. That was a takeover. You didn't just sing a song. You made everyone in this room feel like we witnessed history happening in real time." The crowd erupts again, agreeing with her before she can even finish speaking. Heidi jumps in next, still shaking her head like she's trying to process everything she just saw. "I don't know how to explain this," she says, pressing a hand to her heart, "but you have something I've never ever seen. I felt Elvis in your tone, yes, but I felt you more. You're not an impersonator. You're a new kind of superstar." He tries to smile, but emotion hits him too fast. His lips tremble as he places a hand over his heart, nodding gratefully. Howie points at him with both hands. "What you did up there," he says with intensity, "is what every performer dreams of. To walk on stage unknown and walk off as a phenomenon." He gestures to the crowd behind him. "Look around you. This is what a moment looks like, but everyone knows who they're waiting for." The room goes quiet, instantly, like someone muted the world. The attention shifts to the one judge whose approval can turn a great performance into a global shockwave. Simon. He doesn't speak right away. He's studying the young singer with an expression nobody can quite read: respect, disbelief, maybe even pride. The silence stretches long enough that the performer begins to fidget, unsure what's coming. Then Simon sits forward slowly, resting his elbows on the desk. "I've been doing this for a very long time," he begins, voice low, calm, controlled. "And every once in a while, someone walks onto this stage and does something that makes the entire world stop." The crowd leans in. Even the backstage crew freezes. "You," Simon continues, pointing gently, "are one of those rare people." A ripple of gasps spreads across the room. "You honored a legend," he says, without being trapped by him. "You took a voice we all know and transformed it into something entirely your own. That is what makes an icon. Not imitation, but creation." The performer's eyes fill instantly, his throat tightening as he tries to hold himself together. Then Simon stands up. The audience explodes, sensing exactly what's about to happen. Sophia claps her hands over her moo. Heidi grabs Howie's arm. The crowd begins chanting, a tidal roar building from the back rows to the front. "Golden buzzer! Golden buzzer! Golden buzzer!" Simon smiles, a rare, genuine smile, and steps toward the golden buzzer. The Filipino Elvis's eyes widen, his hands fly to his face. His knees buckle slightly in disbelief. Tears spill before he can stop them. Simon places his hand on the buzzer, looks directly at him, and says, loud and clear, "America will be talking about you for years." Then, boom. The buzzer slams down. The theater detonates in gold. Confetti blasts into the air like fireworks, raining down in thick, shimmering waves. The young performer drops to his knees, overwhelmed, sobbing as the judges rush forward to surround him. The audience screams louder than at any concert, phones raised, capturing a moment that will replay online millions of times within hours. Golden confetti sticks to his hair, his suit, his eyelashes. He looks up, smiling through tears. And in that moment, the world doesn't just meet Filipino Elvis. It welcomes the birth of a new global star.